Hey guys, it's Brett. Thanks for dropping by my channel. For the second time in less than a month, I have recorded a full video and then realized I never actually hit record. Winning! So hey, October, I'm feeling a little fall today, trying to get into the mood. You know, last week it was so feeling like fall in Los Angeles. We were having nights were going down to the low 50s. You'd wake up, it would be like 54 degrees, perfect, going down into like the low 60s at night, feeling completely fall. And now suddenly it's 85 degrees again. But you know what? I'm going to lean into it. Hopefully this little heat wave won't be long. I hope it's cooling off where you are. I hope you're happy with that. So anyway, perfect time now to talk about October books, October TBR, and what I'm hoping to read this month. So let's go. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is what I'm currently reading, one of which I was reading when I did my September wrap up, and I haven't finished it yet. I am 70 pages from finishing this, and as soon as I finish this video for reals and not pretend record, I'm going to go finish this book, which is so good. You guys, it's so good. If you like a very intelligent mystery / pseudo thriller. I don't even want to say thriller because I don't want to lead you down the garden path of thinking oh my God, there is a dead body in this. But it's much kind of more, like I think I said this in my wrap up of September, it's giving me a little Tana French vibes. And if that's your jam, I think you would love this. But what a debut. Again, Year of the Irish, another Irish writer. So good. I'm going to keep singing its praises. And if these last 70 pages hold up, which I don't know why they wouldn't, this is going to be a boffo book. The other thing I just started today is Family Meal by Bryan Washington, which comes out October 10th, 11th, next week. Really good. Really good. And thank you to Riverhead Books for this copy. I read Memorial and Lot, and this so far is my favorite book of his. I just found the characters immediately engaging, completely drawn in right from the start. Hopefully that holds up. Again, I'm only 50 pages, and so it's a little general to say I love this book better than the others when I haven't even gotten a third of the way through yet. However, it's made a really strong opening impression on me. So. All right, now let's get into what I'm hoping to accomplish. A little bit of, I think it's a little bit of everything here, which is kind of the ideal month for me. The first is Lev Rosen's The Bell in the Fog. Thank you to Tor Books for this, Forge at Tor for this. Lev Rosen, last year or the year before, put out a book called Lavender House, which was kind of a noir detective kind of thriller. Felt very kind of... Perry Mason-esque. Is that even right? Perry Mason. Was it Perry Mason? Maltese Falcon. I don't know. 40s. Picture brimmed hats and raincoats. But the detective's gay. And I thought it was really fun. So this is the follow-up book. And I'm really glad that he decided to continue to write for this character. So this is the new one. I'm expecting it to be really fun. Perfect for this season. So... also perfect for the season, The Paleontologist by Luc Dumas. Luc wrote this great book called The History of Fear, which if you're an audio person, get it on audio, The History of Fear. Really interesting book about this man who you don't know if he's going crazy or if he's actually being possessed by the devil. Creepy, good. This one is about a kind of a haunted paleontologist returns to the museum where his sister was abducted years earlier, she was abducted, and is faced with a terrifying and murderous spirit in this chilling novel from the author of the engrossing A History of Fear, perfect for fans of Simone St. James and Katie Hayes. Okay, full disclosure, I read one Simone St. James and thought it was meh. So I'm not looking at that, but I will tell you, History of Fear was really good. I did see this cover and thought, oh my gosh, we're giving Jurassic Park, obviously. But excited for this. Of Time and Turtles, Mending the World, Shell by Shattered Shell by Cy Montgomery. Cy Montgomery, of course, wrote one of my favorite books, The Soul of an Octopus, which started my octopus obsession. I'm sure she's going to do the same thing, and suddenly I'm going to get through this and be like, we're getting a turtle! My husband would kill me. I mean, he'd kill me. I mean, he'd kill me. But I had to go right in, open the pictures. I have to tell you, I bought The Good Good Pig from Cy as well, because I just am like, what can't this woman write and make me fall in love with whatever animal that she's focusing on? Also, I'm really excited because Cy is coming on to the podcast to talk about this with Jason and I. So I can't wait. I'm really, really excited. I think she's such a cool lady. So I'm really excited. And if you're a turtle lover, you're going to want to get this one. Absolution by Alice McDermott. This is hilarious because when this book was coming out, it really didn't hit my radar. And I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. And then a lot of people who I respect, I was seeing them post stuff about it. And it's saying how amazing it is. And I was like, you know what? I have never read Alice McDermott, so we need to rectify that. So really excited to read this. It will be my first, but I'm hearing great things. So we'll see. Okay, I got to put on my glasses because I'm going to read you this next book's back, and I want to make sure that it's not taking me 20 years as I try to decipher all the words. Alice, Zadie, and Seline. Thank you to Simon & Schuster for this gifted copy. First of all, let's talk about how beautiful this cover is. I love a cover that gives you fine art. It reminds me a little bit of Cleopatra and Frankenstein from last year. Also, Sirens and Muses. Okay, so let me read you this book blurb. It's opening night, but Alice's performance in the local Bay Area production of The Winter's Tale is far from glamorous. She doesn't have dreams of stardom, but the basement theater and a wildfire-choked town isn't exactly what she envisioned for her career. To make matters worse, her best friend Sadie is not even coming. Pragmatic, serious Sadie and flighty, creative Alice have been best friends since high school, really each other's only friend. But now that they're through with college, which they attended together, and living on opposite ends of California, Alice would at least expect her friend's support. Sadie, determined not to cancel her plans with her boyfriend, ends up enlisting the help of her mother, Seline. A professor and author, Seline became notorious for her landmark treatise on sex and identity, but she's struggling to write her new book in a post-second wave feminist world. So when Sadie begs her to attend Alice's play, she relents, if only to escape writer's block. But in a turn of perplexing events, Seline becomes entranced by Alice's performance and realizes that her daughter's once lanky, slightly annoying best friend is now an irresistible young woman. Set over the course of decades, from Alice and Sadie's early friendship days and Celine's decision to leave her husband to the radical movements of 1990s Berkeley and navigating contemporary Hollywood, Alice and Celine's affair will test the limit of their love for Sadie and their own beliefs about power, agency, and feminism. Witty and relatable, sexy and surprising, Sarah Blakely Cartwright's debut adult novel is a mesmerizing portrait of the inner lives of three very different women. I give you Alice, Sadie, and Seline. I give you a motion picture starring Julianne Moore. The last of my short list books to get through for the Booker, Profet Song by Paul Lynch. I've seen very positive reviews of this everywhere, but for me, it's Irish, so I'm all in. Can't wait for this dystopian vision of Ireland in the near future. Another book, debut, so looks interesting to me, and I will tell you, this is a series of short stories, which I'll explain in a moment. I've said this before, not always a fan of the short stories. However, this one piqued my interest, and thank you to Grey Wolf Press for this. Shannon Sanders' sparkling debut brings us into the company of the Collins family and their acquaintances as they meet, bicker, compete, celebrate, worry, keep and reveal secrets, build lives and careers, and endure. In each story, company finds a moment when a guest arrives at someone's home. Two brothers reunite to oust a deadbeat boyfriend from their mother's house. Their sister anxiously prepares for a home visit from a social worker before adopting a child. Their aunt, newly promoted to university provost, navigates a minefield of microaggressions at her own welcome party. And in the haunting title story, the provost's sister finds her solitary life disrupted when her late sister's daughter comes calling. Buoyant, somber, sharp, and affectionate, this multifaceted, multi-generational saga announces a remarkable new voice in fiction. I think it sounds fantastic. Really excited for that one. All right. Also, this debut, no, could you imagine? Zadie Smith's latest, The Fraud, which people are absolutely loving, about it's a trial. It's 1873. I hear Dickens comes into it. I am planning to do this one actually on audio because I got a little intel that Zadie Smith reads it and does an incredible job with all the voices. So I think that sounds really cool. So I'm going to do this one on audio, but excited about that. Now, this is interesting. Okay, this book's The Turning Glass by Gareth Rubin. This was the last book that I got from Goldsboro, and then I canceled my membership. This is why I canceled. It was costing about $40 a book to come to the States, which would be fine if I was employed, but seeing as I've been out of work because of the strike and my show being down for such a long time, I just had to cut corners and think, what am I cutting out? The other thing with this, kind of like Book of the Month Club, is because you know you were getting something every month, I ended up not reading the books and instead just collecting them. And as beautiful as they are, it just didn't make sense. So I'm kind of hoping I use this time to go back and read some of these books that I've had. However, this one I definitely wanted to read because here's the rub. It's two stories that are connected. One in 1880s England, one in 1930s California. But you could read one story and then it informs the second and back and forth. I don't think there's a right way to read it. But when you get to like beautiful, first of all, beautiful Goldsboro as always. But when you get to that, you're reading along and you get to the halfway point and then suddenly you have to flip the book and read the other side. I was like, clever. So I'm really interested to see if it was just a clever device that doesn't have much behind it, or if it's also a good story that also has this clever device. And if you've already read this and you're in the UK or you got your audition in the US, please let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm interested in this one. All right. Also, all over the internet right now on the book socials, Jessica Knoll's Bright Young Women. I'm really excited about this. This is about some of the victims of Ted Bundy, but it never really goes into Ted Bundy. Instead, it focuses on his victims. I might do this on audio as well, too, because Sutton Foster reads it. And I love Sutton Foster. For those of you who know the Broadway, she was just in The Music Man with Hugh Jackman. She was also on the series Younger, which is great if you have Hulu. It's a really fun series. So looking forward to that. And thank you to Mary Sue Rucci Books for this. All right, last two. The first is Ohio by Stephen Markley. Stephen Markley's latest book, The Deluge, you've heard me talk about before. One of my favorite books of this year. It's about to come out in paperback. And spoiler alert, he's also going to be on the podcast, which is going to completely intimidate me because the guy is so smart that I'm probably just going to drool and say things like, your book is really good. So I want to go back and read his first, hopefully before he comes on. I don't know a lot about it, but love the feels, love the cover. Love this guy's mind, and I've heard it also is fantastic. So, again, if you've read, let me know. Lastly is Loot by Tanya James. Now, full disclosure, I thought this was for sure going to be on the short list for the National Book Award, and it's not. However, I've had enough people say to me, oh my gosh, you need to read it. You would love it, that I'm going to read it. A spellbinding historical novel set in 18th century India, England, and France about a young man's dream of leaving his mark on the world. Have you read Loot? Let me know. So that's it. Now, who knows what else will come up in the meantime? Who knows what else I could get sent that I think, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing. Next month, I'm excited to share with you because I've been pulling books for 2024 that I'm planning to get a jump on. Primarily for guests for the podcast, but stuff that looks interesting. So I can't wait to share that stuff with all of you. So this is kind of my last month of mostly what are current and a few backlist titles. So, all right. I hope you're all having a really wonderful week, day, month, year, all the things. If you like what you are seeing, as always, like and subscribe. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know how your week is. And I will see you all soon. Thanks.